Good evening, everyone. Today we have assembled over here for a session on insight into life at DBIT. This particular event has been organized by the IEEE DBIT student branch, and this has exclusively been organized for the FE students. Now, for those who are present over here, you might be wondering why this particular event has been organized. So, just let me brief you about it. Last semester, during the interaction with the students while teaching BWE, as well as during the mentoring session, the one particular thing that came to my mind is that everybody is only thinking about pointers. Like everybody is focusing on pointers, and somewhere I feel that we are not thinking beyond pointers. So that was the main reason why I thought that we need to have a session wherein we create an awareness that yes, pointers, having a good decent pointer is important, definitely, no doubt about it. But in addition to that, you also need to develop certain soft skills. You need to also work on your personality development as a whole, which is somewhere being maybe it's being neglected, or maybe at this particular point in time you are not aware of. Also in terms of building a strong resume. So in addition to having a good score in your academics, in your end semester examinations, okay, what exactly do you need to focus on in terms of, like, maybe participating in hackathons, or maybe taking up some internships or projects, as well as preparing for your aptitudes, is something that needs to be taken into consideration. So the whole purpose of having this particular event under the IEEE student branch was to create an awareness amongst the first year students about the need for maintaining a balance, a striking balance between academics as well as co-curricular and extracurricular activities. So the first person that came to my mind is about Minita Joshi. She's our very own EXTC student. She is currently in the final year. Okay, she'll be graduating in 2021. The reason why I chose Minita is because Minita has been able to balance her academics, as well as she has been very active not only in the technical events organized by the department or the institute, but also she was also involved in various other clubs as well, including the dance club. Okay, and also talking of Minita, she's been placed in LTI, TCS, and Delta X. So she's been placed in three companies through campus placement. She is a data science enthusiast. She has done two projects using deep learning in engineering. She was also she has also won the Viewers' Choice Award for her B project in eInnovex 2021. So I felt that Minita would be the right person who can share her experiences of what has been a journey in DBIT over the past 4 years. She will help you also, understand how does the placement activity take place in DBIT, the kind of aptitude training that is given by the training and placement cell. She will also be sharing her interview experiences with you. At the end of the session, we'll be having a question and answer round wherein the students can either post a question on the Zoom chat box, or they can raise their hand and I will let you unmute yourself and ask the question to Minita directly. Okay, so over to you, Minita. Thank you so much for accepting this invitation at a very short notice, in spite of you having your end semester examinations going on. Thank you so much, Minita.
Most welcome, ma'am. I am very happy to be here. Can I switch on my video, ma'am?
Yes, dear, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Hello, everyone. I am Minita Joshi, and thank you, Jijo ma'am, for a wonderful introduction. I am not here to scare you guys. You all are in first year right now. You must be thinking that how will engineering go? How the 4 years will go? What will I do at the end? But I am not here to scare you. I am just here to give you a roadmap using my experiences. I will be sharing with you all, and I hope that you all gain some amount of information with it. So I would not waste any time, and I will get into it. My first year started with me being a very shy and a very quiet person. Jijo ma'am must be knowing that I have developed since that time to now a lot. I was only of the goal that yes, I need to get good pointers. I need to get 9+ pointers, and I have to study and I have to go to classes and all of this. This was pretty much my first year. That yes, I have to study. I have to attend all lectures. I will be getting 100% attendance because we had it offline as well. Y'all have started the the curriculum online. I think, ma'am, am I correct? They started online, okay?
Yes, yes, they
If I'm
started
not
online.
wrong. Yeah. So with time, I think it will be difficult for you because we knew that what offline was like till the third year. After third year, we started online. So I would not recommend that you just rely on maybe Google or whatever during your exams. I would definitely recommend that you put in your heart while studying right now, starting from today, even if it's online, even if you all have online Wi-Fi, you all have all resources. I know of it too. But I will definitely recommend that you put in your best efforts in studying right from day one, which I did, which I ensured that my friends also did. Your company also matters a lot. Like right now, whatever is my group, I have been with them since first year and they all have been placed as well. So coming back to the second year and the third year, what is important is, as Jijo ma'am said, that academic scores are not the only thing which you need. You have to develop your personality as well. You have to interact with people. You have to study, of course, but you have to take part in hackathons, whatever domain you choose. So coming to the second year and third year, you should be able to choose a domain for yourself, that yes, I like software development, or for EXTC there is the VLSI domain, or it is the embedded systems. So you have to choose the right path for yourself, that yes, I am good at this and I will be studying towards working towards the same path. If it is VLSI, then you try to take up some internship in that domain or some small project. The teachers are always there to help you. The lab assistants are there. You just go and ask them for the components. I am talking about EXCC as I am from EXCC. Even other teachers in all departments, I am sure they are pretty very supportive, and they will help you in the projects you want. Suppose it is a maybe a computer department, so you can like code something really small and then show it to your teachers. Take part in many projects. Whatever. I have given interviews, I remember, for student chapters, just thinking that क्या होगा ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा reject हो जाएंगे. That should be the attitude. You should uh, give it in the right attitude, that yes, I will study, I will go to the interview, I will give it nicely, and whatever be the outcome, that is fine. It is an experience only. So coming to second year, you will be introduced to new subjects of your domain only. So you will take a little time to get acquainted to the subjects. Then coming to the third year, you have some hackathons. You have interviews for the student chapters, like for IT, I think for computers, I think it is ACM, and EXTC has IET, IEEE. Be it a national or an international, doesn't matter. You being there in a student chapter helps you gain a lot of information. Like I was a part of IET and I was there for only a year. I was the coordinator of the head of finance and administration, and I used to handle all the roles, not just about finance, but how an event is taking place, what all do you need to do, what all permission letters you need to make, everything that goes inside. You will not be working only in a single domain. So that helps you gain a lot of information, not only technical, but also managerial. You understand that if you are a good leader, then the next year you can even give interviews for a higher position in the same student chapter. That helps you develop your personality like no other. And extracurricular activities, be it cultural fest or a technical fest, a simple role in that, you can gain a certificate for that. Our college does not leave any field behind. They take care of each and everything, and they conduct workshops, they conduct talks. So be active in those as well. I was an active part of dance club, and I was a part of the technical student chapter IET as well. I have not done an internship, unfortunately, because pandemic hit, and then I was not able to secure a position as an intern somewhere. But EXTC, I can talk about EXTC, that they had organized an internship in Siemens. So it's okay if even if you have to pay some money, go ahead and give it. It adds up. It only adds up to your resume. It will help recruiters see you and shortlist you that yes, they have done an internship here, and then they directly shortlist you. It is like that. Now, during pandemic, you don't have an option to go to some office and do it physically. So certification courses, when the pandemic started, DBIT had given us free access to Coursera courses. And they made sure that we at least did two courses, one technical, one non-technical. And we were serious about that, that yes, DBIT has asked us to do it and it will be of some help somewhere or the other. So all this will add up to your resume only. The mini projects you do, anything small, you can add it to your resume. Everything that you do in college will only help you in some way or the other somewhere. Now, coming to the third year, you choose a domain for yourself, be it if it is higher studies you want to do, what domain you want to do, if it's management, something like that, or you want to go to US, you want to give a GRE, you should plan this maybe at the start of third year and finish the exams off by maybe sixth semester if I'm not wrong, because BE is tough. You will be having a hectic schedule in BE. You have presentations going on, you have placement activities going on, you have to work on your project as well. So choosing the right domain is the first thing you do in third year. That yes, this is my domain and I will try and get a project, a BE project to be specific, in the same domain, so that I know this interests me and I will work towards it. Till y'all reach BE, I think everything will be good, hopefully. Everything will be fine. And then y'all will have everything offline, and you will be able to meet everyone. You will be able to see your guides and everything. We had it online, so it was a bit difficult to tackle at the first, but then teachers made it, again, the guides made it easy for us. So after choosing the domain, you come to the fourth year, you have your BE project in hand, and then you start working. A BE project adds I think out of 100 marks if a CV is given, it is almost at a 50 to 60 marks what a BE project is in your resume. I have been asked about my BE projects in all of my interviews. Every interview that I've given, even in my HR interview, even in my technical interview, they have asked me about my BE project only. And you should be able to answer that thoroughly. Like you should be attached to the project like that. That yes, I am working towards it every day, every single day I am working towards it, and I know from scratch what is going on in my project. So coming to the fourth year, we had to give for the placement I'm talking about, we had to give a aptitude test, which was from First Naukri. I think you will be able to get that too. And after that, we are shortlisted. If we get above 70%, then we don't need the aptitude training. And if we are less than that, then we will have to get a training, an aptitude training from Chirag sir. That the training and placement cell will inform you well in advance. So I had scored less than 70. I was not very good with aptitude. But after Chirag sir's training, he used to keep trainings 9 to 5 on Sundays. So after he taught us he provided us with a booklet and the aptitude questions, and that is how he taught us the topics. So if you think you are good with it, then study a bit and then give the mock aptitude test, and then you will be able to get a 70 plus if you are good enough in aptitude. So after Chirag sir's training, started the placement process. The placement process goes as such that whoever is the first company, whatever opportunity you get. For us, it was like there was no core company. There were, I think, only one or two core companies which came for EXCC and nothing much. So only IT companies overruled all of the other companies. So the first company that came was Capgemini. And I gave the aptitude test for that. I was prepared well. You have to practice aptitude. That is the only key. It is like practice makes man perfect. So that was the key. Aptitude, you have to keep on solving quants, solving logical reasoning, solving verbal as well. So Capgemini was the first company which came for us. and I passed the aptitude test because I was sure that I will pass it because I had practiced enough. So after that, after about a month, the technical interview was scheduled for me, and along with me, 10 or 15 people more were selected from EXCC from my class. Now, what happened was during the interview, of course, it is the knowledge you have. If it is your domain, then you will know everything about it. Everything, anything the interviewer asks, you will definitely know. So this was an IT company, and it was difficult for me because I was more interested towards the VLSI domain that time. But due to the lack of opportunities, I had to get into IT as well. And my BE project also helped me with gaining more knowledge about software development. And my BE project was in Python. So what happened was during the interviewer asked me everything about C language, which you learn in SPA. And mind that SPA is a very, very important subject for everyone, not just CS or IT. Even EXCC has to learn SPA really well. Take the labs, take the lectures seriously because that is what makes the base for the software development. If at all you get a B project which is in the software development. Now, the interviewer asked me everything about C language, and I was prepared for the same. I had studied C in my second semester, and I knew C. But what happened was I answered all his questions, but it was like once you clear the technical round, just then you will receive a link for the HR interview, and I was not selected. And I was wondering that everyone, all of my friends, they were not asked anything. They were just asked their BE project, what subjects they liked in their 4 years of course. That's it. And they got through and they had the HR interview. And I was wondering that I had answered everything correctly. I was sure that yes, I have answered everything to him, but yet I was rejected. But that did not put me down. It was just a learning experience. And that is what I want y'all to also think. That yes, even if I fail sometime, I will tackle it somewhere or the other. Maybe I was lacking or it was just my luck. Luck factor is also there in interviews. I am pretty sure about that. So the next company which is there was LTI. Now for LTI, I had put in my everything. I had studied C even better then. I was sure that even if they ask me Java or if they ask me C, whatever I have studied in the 4 years, I will be ready to answer and I will just crack this through. So first about the aptitude, again, there was a coding round as well and there was an aptitude. So I cleared the aptitude and then I had the technical round. So for the technical round, I was sure that yes, they will ask me something about the language C or language Java or something about my BE project or anything. Whatever they ask me about languages, I will be definitely able to tackle. But what happened was during my interview, the interviewer only asked me, what are the tools in Windows? Can you tell me that? And about my BE project. That is it. Nothing else. And I was like, how did this happen? I was pretty sure that he will ask me C, he will ask me Java, but he just asked me what are the tools in Windows. That is it. So I was like, okay, I told him whatever. And then I got through. I was very lucky. And after that, we had the HR round, which is a very casual round. That is nothing we should worry about. But yes, it is nothing like people saying कि HR के बाद तो हो जाता है. HR is just a formality. It is nothing like that. Even HRs can reject you because one of my friend was rejected after the HR as well. So in the HR is where your pointers matter because HR do ask that yes, what is the pointer you have maintained or if you have a backlog or no. Talking about backlogs, yes, I will definitely recommend you to avoid backlogs as much as you can. Obviously, if because due to some legitimate reasons you cannot, that is fine, but you should be able to tackle it the next time. The second chance is the only time you should think that yes, I have to tackle this subject now or never. It is like that. Because again, what happens is once you get a backlog, you have to give it in the next semester. Next semester, you have 6 subjects more included, and you have to study the subjects which you have a backlog in. Even if it's one subject, you won't be remembering the concepts or something like that. Take help of your teachers. The assignments provided to you, those are important as well. Take those into consideration, solve them religiously, and then you will not have to study extra for the semesters. That is what was my thinking, that yes, I will attend the lectures religiously, I will do the assignments, and I will not have to go back and study for semesters only. That yes, now everything is piled up and I have to study the entire syllabus in a span of 1 or 2 days. Don't keep it like that. Study regularly, study for IAs, get a good score in IA. That is how you can maintain your pointer at a good level. If you study well for your IA, maintain a good average between IA1 and IA2, your pointer is sorted then. Even if you have to get a 10 pointer, then obviously you have to study for the end semester well. You have to get good marks there. But if you have a decent score in end semester, but you have a good average as well, you've given your vivas, you've given your assignments properly, then your pointer is handled. Majorly, if you are looking for a placement, you will need some companies, almost all companies, I think, need a 6.75 as their average, and that is not difficult. But if you have to get a very good company, suppose like a dream package, or like I had given the aptitude test for Seclor. Seclor was a startup which needed skills. Startups require your skill set to be at the best. They do not provide any training period or such. It is like you have to learn on your own. So I could not clear the aptitude for Seclor. But that did not take me a step back, that no, there is something lacking in me or something like that, because I had already got into LTI first. So you will have failures in the 4 years, maybe one, maybe two, but you should take that in the right spirit and then know how you will tackle the situation. So coming back to my interviews, I was selected in LTI then. Then after that, what took me back was there is a bond also which companies expect you to fill up. Like LTI has a 2 years bond, and like so I had to try for a company which has a lesser bond. So TCS was the first choice then. TCS was there and it conducts a national qualifier test for you all. So TCS goes through they have the TCS NQT test, which is a long test. It is a 3 hour test entirely. It has aptitude, it has coding rounds, it has aptitude like LR, quants, and verbal, the same thing. And then if you clear that, there are two roles that you can apply for. One was the digital, which is the core coding. If you do well in coding, both of your codes work properly, then you will be given the digital role. And if only you are doing good in the aptitude test, then you get the TCS Ninja role. I was given the TCS Ninja role. So after that, again, as I told you, interviews do have a luck factor. During my TCS interview, there were 4 people in the meeting. Everything was online for us. Till y'all reach BE, I'm sure you will be having it offline. So you will have the proper opportunity to sit in front of a interviewer, and then that makes you more nervous, I think, because I was nervous on online as well. Even if it was online, I used to be very nervous. So during my interview for TCS, there were 4 people in the one was for technical, 2 were for HR, and 1 for managerial round. So the managerial round, the lady who was my interviewer, she asked me, "Have you watched any series on Netflix?" And I was like, "What is she asking?" I was so prepared that no, she will ask me something about my domain or something about my subjects, what interests me, like that. "Have you watched any series on Netflix?" And I was like, "Yes." What is the latest series did you watch? What latest series did you watch on Netflix? So I was like, "Yeah, I watched this series." Then she asked me, "Oh, did you watch Money Heist?" And I was like, "What is she asking me?" I was again shocked, but I said, "Yes, I have watched it." That was it. That was my managerial round. After that, my technical round started. He asked me, "What do you know about Java?" That is the only thing he asked me. And I was like, yes, I know the object-oriented OOPS concepts. So he told me that, tell me one or two concepts which you know. And I was like, yes, abstraction I know encapsulation. The usual 3 to 4 concepts. They will never ask you into depth, never. The interviewers just want to know the basic knowledge of the language or the subject you have. That was it. And after that, I had the HR round that yes, the bond is for 1 year. And are you okay with traveling? All that will be taken care of in the aptitude training as well. So after that, after about 1.5 month, the results came out and I was selected in TCS. So it is a luck factor as well, but you need to be prepared as well. I wouldn't say that just depend on luck, but you have to be prepared well in advance. Again, your B project, take it very seriously. You will be asked questions on that every interview you take. Try applying for dream packages. It is okay if you fail. It is not a problem. That was my attitude all the time. I would give in my 100% in the aptitude test, and yet I would not go through. So it is fine. It is just a learning experience. You learn something, you study, and it's okay if you go through or you are rejected. That is fine. And that's it. I think fourth year will be a very hectic for you all. It is all these experiences which I have shared with you. The resume has also plays a major role in that. And yes, as I told you, personality development is also required here. This is me right now, and I wasn't like this in the first year or the second year. I was very quiet. I was very shy. I wouldn't talk so much also with people. But now, due to the student chapter I was in, due to my communication with the seniors, this helped me get a confidence that yes, I can speak. I have done publicity as well for the events, for the workshops, and it is an experience. It is a learning experience for you. Second and third year, obviously, it doesn't involve only attending lectures all the time. It's okay if you miss a few lectures, that is fine. But if you're doing something productive in that, then only. Then, as I told you, mini projects add up to the resume. I have added my mini projects, like Jijo ma'am also mentioned, that I have done 2 projects in deep learning. That is why in the third year, I did a mini project on number plate recognition using OpenCV and Python. That helped me choose my final year project that yes, I want to continue in this domain. And data science is something that I like. It is in trend also. AI is in trend. So that will help you choose that yes, I want to do this. I am interested in this. So choosing a domain is very important. And along with that, your extracurricular and co-curricular activities add up to it. Internships, if you all can do it, it's a very good thing. It is like a cherry on the cake. That is what you get an experience hands on, you get a industry experience, and I couldn't get that. I was trying a lot, but there was no response from the employers who provide internship. Even if it's just a certificate, you do not get a stipend, it is fine. Do an internship, you will learn something or the other from there and in your domain. That is what I want to stress upon. So yeah, the training and placement cell for our college is good enough, for very good enough. I would say that they provide you with everything you all want. The TPCs in your there will be TPCs in your class who will be giving you all the information. Try filling it, stick to the deadlines, try filling in forms for the companies. Uh, Try working on yourself, do certification courses. Right now, that is the only thing we can do. So try, spend in some money. You all have groups. Split up the money and pay for a Udemy course you all like, and choose a good course and then complete it. Uh, Rest everything is sure that I am sure that teachers will take care of, and the training and placement cell will take care of it good enough. They will provide you with the aptitude training. They will brief you well. They will conduct meetings for you. They will conduct talks for you, that how the process goes on, how we have tackled it during pandemic, and till you all reach the placement phase, everything will be fine, hopefully. So I am ready for any questions if there are.
Okay, before the students ask any questions, Minita, I would like to ask you, was there any specific book that you have referred to for your aptitude? Because what we have observed is most of our students, in fact, even the top five also are unable to crack the aptitude.
Yeah,
Okay, they may
correct.
be technically very good, but they are unable to fare well in the aptitude. So, can you tell the
Yeah.
students what exactly did you refer to? Is there any specific book, or was it the only material provided by the placement cell?
Yes, that was the only thing I have referred to, ma'am. But if you all do not get the training, you all can just type it on Google. I will just tell you the name. If you all score below 70 in the mock, then you will be provided with the booklet. And even if you score above 70, it is fine if you take the aptitude training. It will only help you better. You will get the booklet, and it is very specific to the questions asked, and it helped me really well. So I will just tell you the name. I am not sure, ma'am. I can share it with you later if you want.
Yeah, no problem.
I had referred to the booklet provided by Chirag sir,
Okay.
from the placement cell.
Okay. Okay. And this training happens in the third year, right?
Third year in the sixth semester.
In the sixth semester. Okay.
Yeah. So you get
So,
ample amount of time to study as well, practice.
okay. So, but over here, I would like to suggest to all the FE students that since we are in the online mode and, we have ample amount of time in hand, whenever you get time, do try to, solve some sort of aptitude based questions. Because see, you cannot develop your aptitude skills, within a few days or, within a few weeks. It requires a lot of practice over the years. So try to invest little time right from maybe today onwards. Just devote some maybe a half an hour or maybe 1 hour's time as per your convenience. Try to fix up some time for preparing for your aptitude. That's one thing.
Yeah.
Secondly, that I would like to mention over here is, yes, Minita did mention that there were certain interviews wherein she couldn't, in spite of being able to answer the questions, she didn't get selected. Okay, so that is something that you need to understand, that not always that when we give a particular interview, like for example in the viva, I remember some students asked me that I was asked only two questions. But
Hmm.
remember guys that whenever any question is asked, okay, those two questions may be good enough to gauge the level of understanding of the student. So it should not be that okay, somebody is asked 10 questions and I am asked two questions, and that comparison should not be there. So it's all about how you are presenting yourself in front of the interviewer, which matters. So your body language, your confidence is going to be evaluated over there. Someone might not be technically very great, but their attitude towards answering that particular question, are you willing to accept that okay, no, I do not know this particular question, and you say it upfront, okay, I do not know, rather than trying to just
Yeah.
trying to bluff it. So that is not what is expected. So having the right attitude is very, very important when you're going for an interview. Obviously luck is there, obviously that is equally important in certain cases, but that doesn't mean that you just have to leave everything to luck and you will not put in effort at your end. Okay, so I think there's a question over here on the chat. What is the highest package that was offered at your during your time?
Uh, Highest package is 8 LPA, which was given by LTI for the coding challenge. Some of the computer science students have secured a good position there. There were 3 levels which were told. So the first would end you up with 6.5 LPA. The second code, if it runs properly, then you would be given a 8 LPA package. And the third was, I think, a 10 or a 12 LPA, something like that. So the computer students have secured till level 2, computer and IT. I know of 3 people.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yes, we have a question from Gaurish. Gaurish, you can unmute yourself and ask the question.
Yes.
Hello, my query was, as you said that in starting that with our curriculars and with our pointers, we also have to focus on personality development.
Yes.
But some students, what they face some kind of stage fear, and they try to avoid this situation,
Yes.
and they don't like to interact with people. So how should they come over this situation? That's my question.
Yeah. So a very, very good example with stage fear, not just stage fear, it was a medical kind of condition. There was a senior in EXCC, Jijo ma'am knows who I'm talking about. I think he was the chairperson of the student chapter. He had a different voice, something was there, but he did not uh, take a step back. He gave the interview for the chairperson because he was really good with technical things. So until and unless you try, until and unless you put your effort in it, there will be nothing which will help you. If you have stage fear, even I had stage fear. I was nervous even before this talk. Everyone has that, but take a step ahead. Take a step and try at least. Try talking to your seniors that how did they do things. Get their numbers. I will also share my number if you all want to talk to me. That is fine. But you have to interact with people, know what is going around you, what all is happening. If there is a workshop, you all can attend. Ask your doubts. Talk to people. Only then can you tackle all your stage fear. That is the main thing. Talk to people, and then you will know that yes, he has taken part in this. Why can't I take a part? That was my thinking as well. That yes, इसने कर लिया तो मैं क्यों नहीं कर सकती? It is like that.
Okay, to add on to this, I would like to mention that I think most of the times why we fear is because, we feel that, okay, if I'm not able to perform well, what will the other person think of me? Okay, if I go for an interview and I'm not able to answer well, what will the teacher think of me? I don't know even the basics. I think we should just let go of what others are going to think of us. Rather, we should think that how well can we present ourselves. Nobody is here to judge you. Okay, we all want you to grow, whether it's your classmates, whether it is your seniors, your teachers. We all want to see you excel in life. So what I would suggest is, if you feel that yes, you have stage fear, I would suggest participate in maybe department level activities or maybe class level activities. Talk to people. Automatically you will get over your stage fear. Okay, so there are many cases wherein students have been really fearful as to what others will think. I think we should just stop worrying about what others will think about us, because everybody just wishes good for you. Okay, so just forget about all those negative thoughts and just go ahead with your gut feeling. That's what I would suggest.
There was a case in my class as well. He was not good with. There was some person. He was not very good with English. So he feared speaking as well. But during a subject, you all will have a subject, business communication ethics, BCE. That time, sir made sure that he talks to everyone in English. He takes part in GDs. He takes part in the mock interviews sir used to take for us. So taking part in such small activities where you have a very small group, you all are divided in batches, and then during BCE practicals, you all will have mock GDs, mock debates. Participate in that. No one is going to laugh at you. Nobody. And if someone is, just ignore them. That is what Jijo ma'am said just now.
Exactly.
Ignore them. Do not let them overpower you. Like they will laugh on me or they will make fun of me. Let them. They are the losers there.
Actually, nobody is going to make fun of you, because everybody is learning. Nobody is perfect. Absolutely nobody is perfect. We are also learning. So each and every individual is learning. Every day we enter the classroom, we learn something from the students. There is a takeaway always for us as well. So please ensure that you just go with your gut feeling, and you attend maybe smaller workshops or smaller events, but do participate, because that's very, very important for your personality development.
Yes.
Here we have a question by Shruti. Did peer pressure affect you? And how did you take care of your emotional health? Oh, that's a good question, Shruti.
Oh, nice question. Peer pressure did not affect me as such, because I was always with a company which tried and motivated each other. That no, it is fine if you have not done well. It is okay if you fail sometimes. When I was not selected in Capgemini, and all of my friends were, and my immediate friends, like in my immediate friend circle, they all were selected. They were like, it is fine. You will tackle it you will get a placement in the next company. That is okay. So taking care of my emotional health were, obviously the teachers were there to support me all the time. But first and foremost are your parents and your siblings. They will take care. Yes, my parents told me that it is fine if you have failed here. I have an elder sister. She knows that how these things go. So she said it is fine. Maybe the interviewer wasn't satisfied with you. It is okay. It was your luck. You try better in the next company. It is fine. They took care of my emotional health more than myself. So it is fine. You should get up strong enough the next day. One day you will feel low that yes, why was I not selected? मैंने क्या गलत बोला या फिर पता नहीं क्यों मैं select नहीं हुई and बाकी सब हो गए. That is okay. You will have that thought one day. But the next day you have to get up strong and then get ready for the next company that yes, I have to study well for the next company which is coming and I will tackle it some way or the other. I will do it. Even if it is not the second company, it is fine. Sometime or the other, when you keep on trying that yes, I will be able to do it and I am enough. It is nothing like I have something lacking in myself. It is nothing like that. You all are good enough. You all are good enough individuals to study and get through all these tests and all these interviews. So sometime or the other, you will get placed if that is your goal, or get an admit from a very good college if you are aiming for that. So it is fine. Just get up strong every day and think of that, yes, I will put in the right efforts. I will be in the right frame of mind while giving the interviews and you will be able to tackle it. That is how I went through.
Yeah, and one more important thing that I would like to remind all of you all is, which already Minita has mentioned, that in interviews, what they check is your fundamentals.
Yes.
Okay, so when I say fundamentals, right from your first semester, whatever you're studying is very, very crucial. Okay, just because we are in the online mode, many of us are taking things very lightly. Online, hey, I'll manage to get a good score for by whatever means. Okay, you all are smart enough to understand what I'm trying to say. Okay, so getting a 10 pointer might be easy right now, but remember, this is not going to be, for the entire 4 years. So if your fundamentals are not going to be strong and you're just going to get pointers right now, when you're going to be facing the interviews in the 4th year or in the, towards the end of the 3rd year, remember that if you have messed up right now, then it's going to be very, very difficult later on.
Y'all do not have the opportunity to mess up. That is what I said. I started my talk with that no,
Exactly.
y'all have to take the right step right now, because y'all are in the first year and y'all have started online. But with time, this will get good. This will be everything will be fine around. So you will have to go offline. You will have to go to the room wherever the interviewer is and you have to present your resume there. So it is not easy. Even during online, if you think that yes, हमारा भी placement online होगा, even during aptitude test, you do not have the option to switch the window. Your window is freezed for that particular time. If it is 3 hours, then you cannot move your window here and there. The window will be freezed and you will be monitored using camera. And if you suppose, even if you do this like this, it catches and it will give you a warning message that you will be disqualified. It is 1 out of 3 times that we have given you the warning. Even if you are like this, or you are trying to do something, you're trying to some way or the other. So it is not easy. It will not be easy even if it is online.
So that is what we're trying to focus over here, that don't be happy with the pointers right now. If you are really putting in effort and you've got it, great. But if you have been a bit casual and you've been lucky enough to get it this time, remember, you might be lucky this time, but maybe not the next time. Okay, so please ensure you take your academics also equally well. Yes, we have Adarsh. I think someone else also had raised their hand. Was it Disha? Yes, Disha, can you unmute and ask the question?
Yes, ma'am. Hey, congratulations firstly for your placement.
Thank you.
So, as you mentioned that core companies are not really in EXTC, so like IT companies take over. So my question is is it a barrier or so for I'm from EXTC too, so actually I wanted to be in IT from the start, but still I'm stuck in EXTC and there's no option for changing branch. So is it like a barrier for us, for EXTC, that we need more skills so that we can get good placements or so, because coding is needed, which is not really into EXTC, it's more in CS and IT. So what are the skills which are actually needed, and what are the companies which you looked for? Because as you're from EXTC too, right? So what are the, so yeah, that's the question.
We did not so we did not have opportunities because of the pandemic. That is what I was saying. You have R&D roles which come up for power electronics. I know of a company which is Select Controls, which comes almost every year, but this year it did not come for us because of the pandemic, because they do not need much more resources right now. So till you all reach the placements, I am definitely sure that the training and placement cell will be able to get more core companies for EXCC as well. Like for
We had
AWS.
QDNet. We had QDNet technologies
Yeah.
also, which had come in previously. Yeah, because of the
Uh,
pandemic, as Minita
Yeah,
said.
so there are no extra skills, but yes, your domain, if you are interested in the EXCC domain, that yes, I know EDC really well. In the second year, you will come across a subject named EDC. If you are really good with that, that is the fundamental where EXCC actually starts for you. Actually starts at BEE, but all the 6 subjects related to EXCC will start from the second year, from the third semester. So yes, put your heart into the subject, put your heart into the core subjects. That is all. Know the fundamentals of all the subjects, fundamentals of the second year, which will be asked in the fourth year. That is what I'm saying. That you will have CTN, you will have circuit networks, you will have BEE, which you've already finished. Then you have EDC, you have microcontrollers in the third year. So be good enough with the fundamentals. I would recommend that you do not need a very into depth knowledge of each and every subject, but yes, the fundamentals need to be very strong.
I think we had Adarsh also who has a query.
Hi, Vinita. My question was, can you explain how different student factors like IEEE or IET helps? Like you're a part of IET, so can you
Yes.
explain how different student factors help one, like in technical or personal growth?
How different? Can you repeat? The voice
How,
was not clear.
how different student chapters help one student, like in different
Okay.
technical or personal growth? The question was,
Yeah. So there is actually no difference there is no difference. Just be a part of a student chapter. That is what I'm saying. Try to get into a student chapter. If EXCC, be it IEEE or IET, they both conduct workshops. They both club together, conduct workshops. You will be able to learn technical things before the workshop. All of the core members are asked to study about the workshop first. So that is where your learning starts. That yes, I have to study, I have to teach the topic to some of the people who are registered for the workshop. So I should be thorough enough with the topic that whatever question the participants ask, I should be able to answer those. That is the one thing. Then the second thing is after the technical thing. Technical is you study a thing for the workshop. You teach people. You are able to answer the doubts, and that is how you also learn. That yes, I was able to answer his doubt, and now I am clear with the topic myself. Then after that, this is the technical aspect of it. But the managerial aspect includes that you need permission letters, you need permission for using the labs, you need to see that the projector is working or no. That is managerial thing. Then what time should you conduct the workshop? Then what is it that the students can get from the workshop? Is it a takeaway kit? If it is a Arduino, suppose Arduino workshop, then are you able to give the Arduinos to them that they can use, to the group that they can use somewhere or the other in their third year or maybe in the fourth year, whatever. Then buying the components, that is another experience, that you go to the shop, you buy the components in bulk. That is managerial. That if something wrong happens during the workshop, suppose one of the computers stops working, how will you tackle that? During the workshop, something happens and then you need to take a quick decision. You cannot rely on the chairperson only. You need to make your own decisions as well. Teachers might or might not be there. It is only the student chapter. It is for the students and by the students. So students need to take care. The core committee needs to take care of everything, every little thing. Even doing the publicity. If you are not getting enough participants, will you be able to conduct the workshop or no? Or it is only a loss to the student chapter. So getting students, attracting them with your workshop is also a thing. So you learn many things during the workshop, and that is how it helps. If you do a publicity in one of the classes, students don't even listen to you. I have been a part of that I was gone for publicity and students are not even listening. So how will they even participate? So you need to be so loud and so clear that you need to think of that way before, that yes, if I say clearly, if I put in my point, put in the right keywords, that yes, this is the workshop and you will be gaining these. It is, what is the amount for the workshop? if students will be ready to pay that much. All these factors go into account, not just the technical thing. Technical, obviously, you learn a lot. Your chairperson will be teaching the main concepts of the workshop. You learn from that how he is teaching. Maybe the next year I can apply for the chairperson role, or any role for that matter, any head. So that is how it develops you in the technical as well as the managerial thing. So
Thank you, Minita. There's one last question which we'll take up. There's a question in the chat box. During campus placements, do companies come for various job profiles like data analyst, business analyst, non-tech roles? So are there specific roles which are defined?
Yes, every company has their role. Like Delta X had a digital marketing role. So there are different roles that the training and placement cell will try and get into our college. That yes, if some student is not interested in the software development, he is not interested in the core domain also. That is fine. If he is interested in something else, like business analyst roles were there. There were UI UX designer roles. So every role will be taken care of. You just need to scan through that which company is right for me and ask the TPCs that when this kind of role will be coming to college. All the roles are taken care of. That is not a problem in our college. The training and placement cell is really, really good. I give them a hats off here. So all roles will be taken care of. You don't need to worry. If you are not interested in the software development role, it is fine. There will be internship roles as well. Even in the fourth year, companies what they do is they provide a 4 to 5 months internship, and then if you are doing good in the internship, they can convert it to a permanent job. That is also an option. So all roles are taken care of.
Yeah, I think an internship has been converted into a job, right? I think
yes,
Abhiram.
Correct.
It has happened with an EXTC student.
But that was off campus.
Off campus, off campus.
Yeah. So he got a role in the embedded system in the core company. He did a 6-month internship and then it was converted to a permanent job.
So again, it totally depends upon where you're picking up an internship and how well are you performing over there, because they are going to be gauging, what is, your liking and, how are you performing over there. So if you're going to be sincere enough with your job, I think any company would want to absorb such a candidate. They would definitely not let you go. So yeah, I think we'll take one last question. Did you try for financial independence during studies? That is, did you try freelance using LinkedIn or something?
No, I have not. Fortunately, I've been in a good, from a well, I think background, so good background. So I did not try for all of this. And also, I forgot to mention that if campus placements is not your thing, then entrepreneurship is also taken care of in our college. They do conduct talks, workshops for entrepreneurs who are young entrepreneurs trying to get into the startup thing. So yes, that also is a very good field if you all are interested in. So I did not try for freelancing or financial help for my college.
I think we've taken almost all the questions. So I'd request Rakshita to propose the vote of thanks.
Hello.
Hello. Hi.
Yeah, so good evening to everyone present here. I am immensely privileged to extend this vote of thanks. Feeling a sense of gratitude and not expressing it is like wrapping a gift and not giving it. On behalf of the entire management and all my fellow mates, I would like to thank you for sharing with us your wisdom. It is a great honor to have one of our own, one who has learned and grown through the things we are yet to experience. Despite the hurdles created by the pandemic, you made it. You truly are an inspiration. We really appreciate you for looking out for us. The experiences you just shared with us really did work up our minds. And I speak for every student present here when I say this. Your words are going to be really helpful for us in the coming 4 years of our lives. Also, I would like to thank all my batchmates for their cooperation and the dedication towards becoming better. Not forgetting Jijo ma'am, thank you for the session.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Jijo ma'am. Thank you, Rakshita. And thank you for the participation, all of you. 65 students. I am amazed. We did not participate this much, I think, ma'am, for online lectures. This is a really good participation. Good work, all of you.
Thank you
Good
so
that you
much.
participated.
Thank you so much, Minita. And the feedback link will be posted on the class WhatsApp groups. And yeah.
I'll post it here too.
Yeah, you can post it over here as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think with this, we can wind up today's session.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jiju ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Vinita.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.